Hello and welcome to Aisha's Take. Today I'm doing this video for a certain group of people who have fear, and the fear is quite understandable. You've lived in a country where repeatedly you have hoped and hoped and hoped for things to get better, for that impossible thing to be done, and every time your hope has been dashed. So it's to be expected that indeed you'll be afraid. You'll be afraid of putting your hope once again on something and seeing it not materialize. You'll be afraid of letting go and giving your all and just be emotionally invested. And maybe you just feel that you cannot take any more disappointment, and so you're held back. And even yes, you want to support Peter Obi, but you just feel, gosh, what if it's one of those things? What if those people who are saying he will not win, what if they are right? What if after putting all the effort and everything you are out there and it doesn't materialize? Yes, you are the one that I'm doing this video for. You see, the thing is that all what you're thinking about, they're very valid. We're human. There's so much disappointment that we can accommodate. There's so much dashing of hope that we can keep taking. There is so much of hope that have been dashed again and again and again that we can take. But there are certain things that I want to point out to you, and I will take you through. And I've noted some of them, that so in case I don't forget as I speak about this thing. I've looked, because every time I think about the candidacy of Peter Obi, and I look at the things that are happening, I'm just like, okay, if it's like you're playing chess, or if you're playing some kind of game and you want certain things to align, and you're by your own self you're making them to align, that's the way this thing just seems to be going on. And I want you to follow me one after the other. Please just go patiently. And if you're watching, if you're already in the Obideti camp and you know that you're already feeling it, go ahead too. There might be some of the things that you've not really noticed, or you've noticed them, you've not really paid attention, or you already know this thing. Let's just go through them so that you will see. The first one, of course, will be the fact that Peter Obi would leave PDP and decide that he was not going to do that primaries. I will tell you one thing. For me, I was like, okay, maybe this person has more liver than I thought. The first time was even he coming out to say that he will contest. Then a lot of people were calling him out, calling on him to contest and stuff like that. And I remember I did a tweet. I don't think I mentioned his name in that tweet. I didn't, but I just did a tweet, and he was actually the one I was referring to. I like, you guys are begging somebody that doesn't even have the liver, or has not had the liver, to come out of that shadow. Because one of the things that he kept, but that I was seeing at that time, was the fact that he seems to be like in a shadow of other politicians. So I did some kind of tweet. So when he decided he was going to run, I was like, okay, there's something here. Oh wow, okay, he has decided that he's going to run. So for me, that was something. And as the whole issue of primaries, you could see that it was being monetized. It was all about who is it that has the highest money and stuff like that. We're like, what is going to go? Because the way the party was going, it wasn't behaving as if it was reading the room. If PDP were strategic, honestly, Peter Obi, they would have done everything to pave the way for him to get the ticket. They could see, but I think they were not reading the handwriting or in the room. They were so full of themselves. Even when I remember a lot of people were saying to them, oh, if he goes, we're going to go with him. If you don't give him, we follow him wherever he went to. They were like a lot of other, like, you can go, stuff kind of things. Those were the things that were going on. So when we told that when he left, we're like, oh, okay, there's something here. Let's watch out. For me, by 2021, I had already done a series of tweets to PDP, and I said to them, look, I put a lot of like strategies what I think they should be doing, and one of them was the fact that put people like Peter Obi and Frank Weke Jr. at the forefront. Retire the likes of, not really retire, but put them at the background, the likes of Atiku and the former Senate President Bukola Saraki. The Bukola Saraki will go on to, he has done amazing things in terms of, bringing the parties together, especially when they had that major crisis and there were a lot of issues. So when he decided that he was going to leave, I'm like, okay, because for me, I didn't see that coming. I know a lot of people were telling him that he should leave. I'm like, does he have the liver? I didn't know at that moment he had gotten to a place where you will have the liver, to actually do it, because it's really a very bold step and a very, it's should I say it like a test of faith and like a leap of faith? I don't know why. A sneeze wants to come in and it's disturbing my head somehow, but I don't want it to come in. So it's just that leap of faith. And it's also, when you dare for something and you're putting everything on the line and you're sort of like burning the bridges, because it's so much easier to remain in this so-called bigger party where even if you don't get to the party ticket, you might get one thing or the other if you guys are eventually win, or you shall be relevant, because that's what a lot of people want and they stay in this place. There are a lot of people who know being in PDP or APC, it's not it, but they can't leave because they've invested so much, or they feel there's no other place where they can get something. So with this one, it was entry like on certain waters where you don't even know whether you're going to get anything or whether you're going to garner support. And you've seen how over the time third forces have always been, Nigerians have not really bothered to support, even when really good people, competent people run on other tickets other than these two major ones. They normally don't bother. So it was really very courageous doing that. So for me, it was like, oh, okay, let's see how it goes. And of course, he goes on, he gets the ticket. But this is where it becomes interesting. The other things that you will see, and I'll take you through one after the other to see that, look, at this moment, there's really something that is happening in Nigeria. It's just like, it's as if the things are aligning for Nigeria. I will take it through those things. The first one here, he had left the party and everything. He went to Labour. The first thing was the acceptance of the people. The way people were like ready to say, okay, oh, yes, the youth were coming, or youth that normally would not be bothered about election. They don't really care. They're doing their own thing. I mean, there's a particular show that is going on. For me, I don't mention that show. I really have never liked it from inception. I've never watched it. I've never even looked at it. When I go to public places where they have it on, I get away from there. I've never watched it, so I don't mention this thing. It's currently happening, and yet many people thought that it was going to distract the Nigerian youth. It hasn't, which is amazing. Normally, even though I don't watch that film, I get to know who are the people who are in it and all of that, because they keep tweeting about it. You keep seeing it coming onto your timeline. Even though for me, you might say something, they will put the hashtag. I normally know I will turn the other way. I will not retweet those things, but you see them. But right now, you don't see them. I don't even know who are. But normally before, they will force you to even know the name because you keep seeing them. Nothing like that, which is, you understand. Football is football sitting. Yes, they are still talking about the football, but they are still focused on the election. That's something that, people didn't think it was going to happen. I mean, it's so surprising. Even me, I'm still amazed and surprised at the way Nigerians are so focused, especially the Nigerian youth are so focused on this election. So that's something, that acceptance that has come in all over the country, and you see more and more people getting in. And as we go on, more people see that, this thing is real, this thing is serious, this thing is people, driving it, and they are not giving up. More of them are going to come on and join in. So we now come to the other issue. So that's one. So the second thing, let's look at PDP. Ordinarily, everyone was looking at the fact that PDP were going to go to the south because they have zoned the presidency to the south. And that's why with the way their own zoning system, you find out that the chairman is now from the north. You have then the presidential candidate will be from the south. They have the way they do it. So it has been zoned. But somehow, it was a northerner who got it from the northeast. A Fulani also, Muslim Fulani, and not the south, the way that it was supposed to be. This was not what was expected of PDP. And I will tell you something. If PDP had chosen anybody from the south, it would have been very difficult getting the kind of support that Peter Obi has garnered now. It would have been difficult, no doubt about it. Because then, the South will be like conflicted on, do we go with this person in a smaller party, or do we focus on a big party that will come with the structures and whatever it is that they call it? So that would have said, and if it was like, okay, maybe Wike that had gotten the ticket or any southern this thing, it would have been difficult for Peter Obi. It was almost impossible, right? So that's one thing. So see the way, with the stroke of nature, whatever it is, I don't want to, it's almost like divinely orchestrated, but I normally don't like using those words as in divine or any in things like this, but there's something that are just making these things to align. So that's number one. So PDP ended up getting a northern candidate. So that was in favor of Peter Obi. Then it now came to the issue of a vice president. Of course, Wike, that some people were expecting that he was going to be the presidential candidate. He wasn't. There was expectation of him being the running mate. Like this, article. I've done a video before, or I've done a video on that. I will try and drop it in the comment section or in the description. I hope I don't forget. And so, at the end of the day, there was a whole lot of permutation, which is still causing problem up till this very moment over who becomes vice presidential candidate. And then it went to Okowa. And it wasn't Wike. If Wike had gotten the vice presidential candidate, I would have said it would have been more difficult. Not impossible, but it would have been more difficult for Peter Obi. Because Wike has his own cloud from that end, and then with this thing. But that didn't happen. And so you see what I'm talking about the different things that are happening just to in favor, as if the spirit of error is following some other people just to pave way. Sometimes when you're driving or you go out and everything just seems to be aligning, as if the universe, everything is aligning with you. That's exactly what is happening. Like you get to a place, it's green, you're getting to the place, you're in a hurry, you get there, you don't even get red. As you're getting to where the traffic light, it turns green and you keep going. It's just almost like something like that. That's what is going on. So what have we talked about now? We've talked about him leaving the party. We talked about the acceptance he has gotten, and then we talk about PDP zoning, giving the ticket to a northerner, and then we talk about the vice presidential issue that has brought up all sorts of issues that we are still having today. And so there's rancor within the parties. PDP have not gotten themselves together. They're still fighting. They're fighting with their chairman. And you know what? A house divided. You know what that means. So at the end of the day, it's still in favor of Peter Obi, right? So that's it with PDP. Let's come down to APC. It was the turn of APC to do their own primaries. Guess what? They of course, they brought in the north. They zoned it to the south. This time the southwest, not the southeast or the south, but the southeast. So a bit of this thing. And many people assumed that the vice president was going to be the one to get the ticket. And I tell you, if the vice president had gotten the ticket, it would really have been difficult, if not impossible. Almost impossible, if not impossible, for Peter Obi to really make that wave. Because there are a lot of people who still don't see the incompetence of the vice president. He has been able to hide under Buhari, so it's as if Buhari is the one doing everything. So they'll still have that belief in him. It's not like the one we have now. But that didn't happen. So you see what that paved it. And then what happened? Tinubu was given the ticket. He got the presidential ticket from the south, and a Muslim from the south. And that brought the issue of vice president. Of course, like we try to balance in Nigeria. This thing shouldn't be issues, but unfortunately they are, and we have to deal with the reality that we have. So for the case of equity, you don't want this thing to be lopsided towards one place. And so, of course, he wasn't going to get a vice president from the southern part of the country. He was going to go to the northern part of the country, because that's the way they sort of like alternated. And if he gets a Christian from the northern part of the country, the Christians are the minority, not the Muslims. And then you have people who feel that, oh, you won't want a Muslim from the minority. They will prefer, they won't want a Christian from the minority. I prefer a Muslim. And some will say all sorts of things. There were some people like, oh, they will not vote him if he gets a Christian minority. And then he feels that, oh, they might not have the power of the vote and whatever. Guess what now happened? He went for a Muslim from the northeast. There was now a Muslim ticket. Of course, that was enough to get any. I was angry about that. I mean, that's there's no equity there. There's no justice there. It doesn't make sense at all in a country that is so polarized. And having seen that, having had disastrous leadership of a Muslim president who is from the northwest. Now you're going to bring in again Muslim ticket. It doesn't even make sense with all the things people are talking about, Islamization and all of that. Those things are, for me, they are all just conspiracy theories that are not on the way. So of us to face the situation on ground, we keep looking for conspiracy theory. There's nothing like any Islamization. We all are being killed here. People are getting, whether we are Muslims or Christians or whatever, everybody is being killed. The insecurity is affecting everyone. But people will always want to do conspiracy theories to make things, align for them. So back to the discussion. Now you now have a Muslim ticket. Whoop. Major disaster, major problem. Everybody, anger. Some people left the party. Some people have been this. Some people say they will no longer vote. All sorts of things. But guess what? This aligning. It was aligning for Peter Obi. So if you see all of this little, there might be little things here and there. You might think that, but if you put them together, if you keep aligning, they were like, something is going on here. Something is going on here. I think, let me see. Okay, Peter. I'm trying to ensure that I don't miss out anything. So that's the thing. I'm just trying to show that all the points that I want to make, I've made them. So the other thing also is that you see crisis. PDP is having its own crisis. APC is also having its own crisis here and there. I saw a report, and I'm going to do an analysis on that, of the issue of APC, where there's a report out there that the APC, they're having crisis in Lagos State. Some of them are saying they will not support the party come 2023 and all of that. You see the PDP, some members of PDP, they are saying that they might not support the party, or they just, there's a whole lot of crisis going on within these major parties. And guess what? That is also another alignment for Peter Obi. So that makes things much easier for us. And there's this solidarity of, yes, we can. People are moved. People are, the adrenaline is high. People have hope. People have belief. People are coming in. So all of these are adding towards, the possibility of Peter Obi getting the 2023 presidential not ticket now, win, the presidential win. So that's why I'm doing this video, for you, to say to you that I understand all where your fears are coming from. Let me even drop this and just speak to you directly. I do understand where your fears are coming from. But life is all about hope. Hope endures. We must keep striving. We must never give up. We must never allow our fears to hold us back. What we must always say is, when we think of failure, tell it, fast forward it. Let's keep trying. Let's keep striving. Because if we allow our failure to hold us back, we will never get up. We continue to be where we are. And I ask you, where are we right now? Is that where we're supposed to be? What is it? We're already down. The only way we can go is up. And there are so many things that are in favor. Things are aligning. There is a new electoral act. The president is not running for office again. There's no incumbent. And he has a nuisance value that all of us can use. He's quite selfish. He wouldn't bother. I'm going to do a separate video so that you watch that one too, so this one doesn't become too lengthy. But I just want to say to you, let your fears go. Let go and let God. Let's do this thing. Let's work together. Don't hold yourself back. Don't be afraid. What's the worst thing that can happen? It's better for us to say that, oh yes, we came out, we put in our all, we tried, we got it, or we didn't get it, than to say, oh, what would have happened because we never tried. There are two ways. It's either a win or a loss. And I tell you, only one person is going to get the seat. So don't be afraid when people say there is no structure. At least that has ended now. The people are the structure. You are the structure. You and I, every one of us, if we come together and say that indeed we want this to happen, it will happen. And by the grace of God, we'll get to where we want to. It's not going to be easy, that's for sure. It's not. If I come here to tell you that it's going to be easy, nah, I'm lying. It's going to be hard work. Every morning we will wake up, we get up from our beds, we will be tired, but we will look at our tiredness and say, no, we will not allow it to define what we do. And in spite of our tiredness, we keep going. We keep doing everything we can so that we get to that place where we are ensuring that someone who has competence is elected into office. So I want to say to you, don't be afraid. Let's do this together. Yes, we can. And I will end this by giving you a saying of Henry Ford, who said, if you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't. Either way, you're right. So why not think you can? Let's get it done. Thank you.